today, I guess, is kind of in part as well, just to kind of outline what we want to do, but also maybe share what you want to share with your team as well, potentially as well, maybe just kind of a chat, just to see where we're at and stuff like that. So I suppose in a bigger world picture, maybe, so as I set the scene, we'll cover two things. One is the ERT screen, which is done anyway up above with Dermot and his team in Vision Care. But when we've got the other bit then that we've done integration with TDS on the other side and other access control providers. In a nutshell, contractors are going into different companies, let's say our clients, okay? Like even Vision Care, and the client has to have certain information visible to them, like insurances, safety statements, training, and we turn all that information into red or green. And if there's certain things red that shouldn't be red, we want to stop the contractors. So at the moment, our system will say Troy is okay or not okay to come on site, but we can't block them. Okay, so we're not the enforcer, and the system becomes a whole lot better when we have an enforcer, which is obviously doing the work at the gate. So Manpreet can explain what we did with TDS. Maybe first start with the ERT screen, because that job is already done, and then we just want to explain just a little bit we want to do the same with your system to block people coming in. And joined by Paul there as well. Paul is our CRO as well. So he's just saying hi as well there. So that's it. So would that be okay as a format? Manpreet will maybe start with the ERT screen and we go from there. Would that work, Troy, overall?
Yep.
Perfect. Manpreet, do you want to just explain what we have in that?
Okay. Okay, sure. Let me share my screen. Please let me know when it is visible.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so basically we started developing this screen based on the requirement from the client that they have an emergency, they need an emergency response. They have an emergency response team, and they need to put all the emergency response team on a 65-inch monitor where they can show which emergency response person is available, and based on their department. So if it is incident controller, is it fire checker, or is it first aider? So they want to show that. So we started developing this screen for them. So this is a standalone system that they deploy on their server. So it is not going to internet at the moment. It is deployed on the same place where they have the access for the Act Pro, and it capture the live feeds from the Act Pro and show the person's name, their photograph, and they show the total ERT member. They also show by department how many ERT members are available in each department. And as soon as they leave from the site, they will remove their name from here when they enter the site again. And we have also considered the door groups over here. So we only consider the main doors, not the internal doors. So we consider the exit door and the entry door. Based on that, we show the persons on site. Along with they said that in case of Act Pro right now, the photograph had a problem. We fixed it recently, that the size of the photograph was not fixed. We fixed it in our system. And they were also saying that in case if there are more than 12 members, in that case they are not able to see the information. So we added a scroll feature. So if there are more members, I can increase the scroll speed just to show you. Okay, so we can manage the scroll speed, and if there are more than 12 members, then we start the scroll. So the names will start appearing over there, and it will be continuous. If the records are less than in one department, if it is less than 12, in that case so if it is 12, you can see, I would say 13. There is one place over here. So if it is more than 13, in that case, the scroll will start, and otherwise it will it will not scroll.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It is fixed.
So we can fix this, Danny, with screen. I think they had a 70-inch screen. We're just showing a screenshot here, obviously, Troy, because we don't have a live link coming on this call with the live client. But there'll be real live photographs inside at the client site. Now, to improve the quality of it, we've standardized it using a bit of technology in the background to standardize the kind of this position of the headshot on where they are. But it'd be even better if they could just have a camera at security and take a proper mugshot coming in and just standardize it there. But I think it's working well. And I think you said that was something that you thought might be applicable on maybe other sites as well as an add-on potentially.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah. It's something we're often asked for, is like, to be able to show the ERT, because it said it's this was a feature, as you know, where it came up originally of probably TDS, who could show that on screens. We didn't have the ability in some of these large pharma or something that requires us to be able to do that. So very good. See that?
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, go on then.
No, go on, Manfred. I was
No,
going to say, if you want to do
okay.
okay.
So I want to raise that right now we are working on two different integration. One integration is the ERT screen, so which is a standalone screen which can be deployed on the server, and it will share the ERT members. The second integration is a wider goal. So for that I plot a presentation which covers almost everything what we are trying to achieve. We have already achieved 80% of it. We are working on the rest 25%, but I covered everything. So it's the MAI contractor portal, that is our product, and we want to integrate it with the Act Pro access control system. So basically the contractor has a profile on the Act Pro system, and we want to the compliance information is available in the contractor portal. So we want both the system to talk and share the information with each other. Okay, so right now the contractor information is fragmented in two different systems. Like the contractor information is available in Act Pro and it is also available in the contractor portal. There are some manual verifications. Like if you want to see their compliance information, you need to go to the contractor portal. While if you want to block their access, in that case, you have to go to the Act Pro system. And similarly, their inductions can be expired or missing, so that verification can be done on the contractor portal. And there is a risk that an unauthorized contractor can enter the site, and there is a lack of the single source of truth is missing. That's what we find a gap. That's where we find a gap. And over here, I try to plot a solution. So we have a contractor portal and we have Act Pro system. Contractor portal, we want to make it as a compliance system, which is a single source of truth for the compliance information, and Act Pro as a single source of information for the access control system, access management. So the badge assignment, the door access, and everything will be managed by Act Pro, while the compliance information will be managed in the contractor portal. I presented the end-to-end workflow. So the contractor, as soon as we create a profile on the contractor portal, we will be creating the profile in the Act Pro system, and I'm talking it based on the API document that I have. So as soon as the profile is created on the contractor portal, we will push that information in the Act Pro to create their profile. It is for the new contractor that is onboarded on our system. And as soon as the contractor arrive on the site, we will be doing a compliance verification that will be based on the notification of their access control card. And we will verify that if this contractor information is valid or not, and we want to block their access and grant this access. So this is the gray area. You can see that it is I plotted is gray because it is not completed yet. We have completed till this part. We can we have the information of check-in and check-out, and we can verify their compliance information, but the block part is not done yet. Okay, we'll move to the next one, where we will say that the automatic profile synchronization. As soon as we create a profile in the contractor portal, we will push the name, we will push the company information, and we will push the photograph in the Act Pro system to create their profile. As soon as a new badge is assigned, this is a gray right now, and we are not clear with it. But when we want that when as soon as they got the access control card, and we will verify at that time if their compliance information is valid or not, and based on that we will allow them access or not. We want to block their badge. I also presented the ERT screen. This is already I presented to you, but it shows all the persons that are the ERT members, and we are showing it over here. The next part is like that at daily at 12 a.m. we are validating for all the contractors if their compliance information is missing. In that case, we are cross-check all the contractor available on the Act Pro, and we want to block their badge every night, so that next time if they are coming on site, if their compliance information is valid, then only they can access the site. We have developed a single screen, which is a linkage of the Act Pro and the contractor portal records. I can show you it is working with TDS integration already, but this screen is independent. It can work with any other platform. So this screen allow you to map the contract. So there can be existing profile available on Act Pro right now. So it is possible that we have 2000 contractors, and for 1500 or all the contractors may be available on the Act Pro. So to link the existing profile, we have created the screen, so you can link the existing profile. However, we do the synchronization for the first time when we go live. We do the onboarding activity and we link all the existing profile based on the nearest match, and we link the profile automatically. But in future, if you find 1 or 2 profile that are on Act Pro and it is not in contractor portal, you can link using this screen.
Excellent. Okay.
I will go to the next one, which is the historical induction synchron. No, this one I need to remove this by mistake. Okay, so the daily life scenario, what is the expectation from this integration? When the contractor arrive on the site, they will get if a new contractor arrive on the site, they will get a badge assigned to them. And as soon as a new badge is assigned, a new card is assigned to them, at that time, we want to check if their compliance information is valid or not. If it is not valid, then we want to block their badge. If it is valid, we will allow them to enter the site. But in case if their card is blocked, the security at the client's place can still enable that badge, and the contractor can continue the shift for that day. But at night, again, we will check their compliance information and we will block their badge for the next visit. Okay. So the security team still has the power that they can allow the contractor to enter to the site. Okay.
So we're just obviously using the enable or disable of the cardholder record, as in what is the allowed or not.
Yeah. Sorry, can you repeat? You want to say that you are right now managing or you want to manage?
No, on the cardholder screen in Act Pro, just one tick
Yeah.
box at the bottom that says enable or disable. So
Yeah,
I presume that's what you are blocking.
Yes.
You're either enabling or not on the
Correct.
record. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. I still need to get the information on that block batching, block the card of REST API. Do we have a REST API for that? That I want to know, because I was reviewing the API, but I didn't find any API to block the badge.
Okay.
Okay, moving to the next screen, which is a daily access report. So we are sending a daily access report based on the last 24 hours. We validate how many contractor visited the site, and based on that, we generate a report and send to the client that in last 24 hours, there are 200 contractors arrive on the site at this time, and their compliance information was active or about to expire or expired. So we send their compliance. So this is a daily report sent to the client, so they can see that, okay, this many contractors are coming on site with the expired or missing information, and this many contractors have the valid compliance information. Okay. We try to present the business benefits, improved safety, reduced administrative efforts. So right now they have to go to the different system, but with this integration, they can get the single source of truth. Real-time compliance enforcement. So as soon as the contractor arrive on the site, the compliance verification is done on the fly, and we can allow them to enter the site or not. Still, the security can override it. Better visibility with the reports, continuous monitoring. So we do the monitoring every day at 12 a.m. and we verify if their compliance information is expired. We block their site access. We have unified report and we have single source of truth to show the contractor information in a better way. Okay. So automatic badge blocking, as I said, that it's the future enhancement, but if we get the API, then we have already did it for TDS, so we can do it very quickly. We have the entire workflow, so we just need to add this step in that workflow.
Do you know if that API exists at the moment, Troy, and the Act Pro
I
system?
would suggest yes. So I was just who are you liaising with to get that information?
We are not in the discussion for this API at the moment. We were presented with this reference guide and we followed that guide from the beginning, and it covers, to be honest, it covers everything, but the card part I am not clear with it right now.
Okay, so we probably need to get someone from professional services to talk to you guys in relation to the API and card blocking.
Yeah, exactly. So the contractor management is a big deal out there, because what we're going to do is we're going to stop the bad actors getting on site. And I think it might be just an extra nice companion then for the Act Pro system. And that's just what we wanted to show you today. So the ERT team is ready to go. We're practically ready to go with the Act Pro one as well. If
Okay.
Dermot gives us permission, he did verbally some months ago, but if he gives permission, we make it live, but then maybe start it with a few contractors and go. But anybody, I mean, it's anybody else we can work with here, Troy, as well. You know, that's the idea.
Well,
Put our heads
one thing
together.
I just want to go through with you guys is obviously, you know, Mac Pro, it's fantastic and it's great because it's what we have. But, you know, most of our bigger sites now, we are now using what's called AAC, which is a cloud-based access control platform. Okay.
Okay.
And what it will do is, and this might be something of interest to you guys, right? Because this will be an awful lot easier for you to integrate into. So this will be our cloud-based access control system now. And, you know, this does all the vision verification, maps, everything, your doors, hardware, okay? But what we do in this is we have a part in here called Gallery. And in the Gallery, these are bolt-ons to the system, okay? And they're charged. So, you know, we have things like Enter ID, you know, all sort of bulk commands, or, you know, the bridge from SMS, like Pro Bridge, where we can bring this into the cloud. We can. So what we would really like to do, I suppose, is create an integration as well with AAC, where we would have your MAI portal in here as a package. Because you can see I've installed packages here, but if I had ones that weren't installed, like disable and active cards, you know, you'll see in here that has a 0 point value. So that's available when you want to actually just load onto their system. But the gallery allows us to create widgets, basically, which would be like your portal. I can show installed or available, update available. I can show any packages that are, you know, that I want to use. So, you know, this is the integration into this system will be really, I think, important for us as well.
Right, super, fantastic. How does this sit with the TDS system then as well? Is this overarching
TDS fully
all
integrates,
systems?
TDS fully integrates with AAC also. Okay. So, you know, it uses things like, you know, when you have a single source of data, you know, we can have tracker, we can have Enter ID, we can have SAP success factors, we can have anyone as the truth of data. You know, so these are just different people have. So a lot of these we make ourselves, but it is open to third parties to create their own widgets to have in here, you know, with costing and stuff on there. These use what's called a fit script, so it's a bit different than an API. It's a much easier integration. I mean, you're cloud-based, and this is cloud-based, so that should be a very much more straightforward integration on the system, you know. So
and this is the global offering by Acre, then is it to all? That's this will be all
it is now,
yeah,
because, you know, it integrates with our Intrusion, show the firmwares for panels, you know, you have access levels. But these are the package launchers, as I said, you know, if you want it, it's like the gallery. Once you have them in the gallery, you then have you know, these different packages where you can run, you know. So we would say, imagine having you in here. So somebody buys it and then they run that and they just get a dashboard then for the MUI. You know what I mean? Same thing. Okay. But what we'd like to do, I presume, is a where you have your on-site system. At the moment, you said is running on the server. What is the possibility of getting that to cloud?
Mm-hmm. Maybe Manfred can answer that question. So, are you okay with what Troy just covered there, Manfred?
Yes. Okay. So, is there any guide on how to submit? We so I just want to raise that we already have one integration, similar integration with another access control where they have their app marketplace, and we submitted the app, MAI app that we created, and we submitted on their marketplace. So do you have any, Troy, if you have any guide that how can we submit a new app on your marketplace?
Well, the best thing would be is I just put you in touch with our professional services team, and they will work through all this with you. I mean, they help build them, they help do all that. You know what I mean? So it's, as I said, it's a much easier process than you writing an API for say Act Pro. You know what I mean? This should be a much smoother simpler platform to be able to link to, you know.
We were
But some of
limited
the
by,
larger sites we're doing now, you know, whether that's financial or pharma or data center, are all now going to AAC Cloud. You know what I mean? So we're seeing that the marketplace is shifting. You know, cloud access is becoming really our main priority and customers' main priority. You know, we have a lot of sites that were installed brand new with Act Pro and they've already migrated to cloud because they want all the features and benefits of being in a cloud environment. You know what I mean? It's much easier for them.
so from the point of view of the integrate or the remaining work, say with Vision Care, which is the single Act Pro client we're dealing with at the moment, are you saying that we shouldn't do any more at the local site level and just focus on this cloud layer integration, or should we finish the other job anyway?
Well, no, we definitely should finish. I mean, Act Pro is out there and probably the biggest install base out there. So I mean, we're looking to be able to do something, you know, where we have existing sites and be able to promote this as available. So no, I say 100% we do that, but it's the on server client you have there for your emergency response teams. You know, how do we get that to be a cloud application just for our other systems? You know, because that would be, you know, a big one. You know, it's been able to have that ERT screen as a dashboard. You know what I mean, as a widget, because one of the things, as I said, you know, you can break out any dashboard. So you will have somebody who, if you just wanted an ERT screen, say in AAC, okay, so that's my dashboard here. But I could just basically create a new dashboard, okay, for just that one screen. You know what I mean? So
I think you're sharing there. It's there now. We can see it. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So within these dashboards, you know, I can manage dashboards and create add a new one, right? So I would just put this in as an empty dashboard, okay? And we would just call this ERT.
Yeah.
And personal and save. Now, when I do that, I will now get basically a blank screen here, okay? So that,
yes,
and then I can add my start building your dashboard. So I would just go in here. What am I looking for? I'd be monitoring, and I would go down here, find ERT, you know, on a thing, you know, sort of, it could be anything. So we'll just say stale cards in this case, push it in there. And that screen can just be a full screen for just this, and it can be on its own screen somewhere. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be on that. So I said people can create their own different types of dashboards. You know, so if it's an intrusion dashboard, if somebody just deals with the intrusion on site, that's all they're looking about. You know what I mean? It's just the intrusion status, the access levels, holiday list schedules. If somebody's just in card administration, you know, who just deal with adding users to a system, they'd have a very different dashboard set up. You know, visitor status, guest passes, you know, how they would want the system to be, you know, stale card counts, you know, all those things. So it makes it very easy to be able to create a different dashboard and just, you know, how you want that layout to be, you know what I mean, on a system, you know.
Well, I think if you could set up a meeting first with whatever tech person we do, I suppose initially for the one query Manfred had about blocking, the API for blocking, and any of the queries Manfred has,
I
just
need
to
to
finish
check
the job for
that and get you information on that, because that should be a straightforward command from the API. You know, it's an active or inactive, because if you look at Act Pro, as I said, it should be. I mean, I thought it should be something very visible in the API, because you know it's a very basic field. You know, I mean, where you have start date, end date, and stuff. You know, you just have that enabled box.
Yeah.
So
and if it's not there, they could probably write it fairly quickly anyway as well. But no, that'd be great. And then if we could have a link into getting into that marketplace afterwards, we're very interested in that. And maybe you mentioned before.
Well, globally, see that you remember that's globally for us now. That's everyone, all the US, everyone. You know, that's what they're selling. That's now the key system. And in Ireland, we've done some major sites here in the UK, and you know, global sites. You know what I mean, across the board. So I do think that's a big
opportunity in many ways.
Opportunity for us, yeah, on the global scale, because I said, if you're integrating with TDS and TDS integrates with us, or into, well, I can't say with us, it's the same company. So it's Acre Identity is integrated obviously into AAC as well. You know what I mean? So it's getting a unified platform then that will have everything on that, But yeah, the only reason I'm opening this is I just want to see the terminology it's actually saying there when it says, because I really would have thought, on the API that this should have been a very, very obvious one, you know what I mean, to make the card active or inactive, because even if you're doing a bulk import of users, you have a tick box whether they're active and inactive, because you can obviously create users in advance and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And tell me, you mentioned maybe having a call with your European sales team as well. Is that something we could do at some stage?
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just share this recording with Gregory, who's the UK and Ireland sales director. Okay. And we will, go through it. But what we have is a Friday morning call, okay, which is just with our sales team, UK and Ireland. Right. And it's the type of one that maybe we just bring you back in on that, just to present the same thing again.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
Maybe worth getting the blocking card issue fixed first, because that's obviously a big one for the whole operation of the system. Is there's no point in having a block contractor and it doesn't disable their card. You know what I mean? Because that's going to be an issue. But just on the me, I said again, I'm just looking at this for the terminology in case it's called something different. But because you're out to bring in all the card fields, so it's basically just we don't worry about valid to from unless the people want to specifically put it in there, but it is down to just that enabled here. You know what I mean? So it's that tick box enabled, disabled.
Yeah, but that one is the users enabled and disabled. Is it related to card? Because I was thinking that we have to block the card instead of user.
No, you block the user. So we don't delete the user's still here. Okay, so once it's enabled, or if I untick that, now he's no access right. We're not deleting them, but if your system said, so if your portal said he's missing his insurance and said today he doesn't have it, that would just be unticked, and tomorrow if the system checked and he has it in place again, that would just be reticked. So it's just the enabled API is what I'd be looking at, whether it's enabled or not. So it's not blocking the card number or anything like that. It blocks, because remember, the card holder could have multiple cards, Bluetooth, everything. There's no point in blocking a card if he has multiple cards and multiple different ways of getting into the site. You could have a PIN, they could have biometric fingerprints. So we don't want it's not blocking individual credentials, it's just enabling or disabling the user.
Okay.
So do you want to look at the API again?
Can you see that? For the user one, we have. I was thinking that we have a separate one for card, that's why, and there was a confusion. But for user, yes, it's there, and we can add the user notes as well. That the block is due to compliance information is missing in.
Perfect, yeah, because if I actually save that there now in the audit log, that will have saved, you know what I mean? And I said if yours gives an indication as to why, that would be great, because I said, it's so she's saying that now, but it should have that the user was blocked. So that's all we need to do. Yeah, so that's it here. You know what I mean? So it's modified. But if I actually went into that event, I'd find out why. You know what I mean? It was blocked if it was in the record. You know what I mean? So
okay.
So it's not the card. So we probably, so as I said, you probably have the API trigger there.
Definitely. Yes.
As I say, it's just enabling or disabling the card, because I said we want to make the user we're not and that's where he said if a security guard has the rights, he can go in and click enable. You know, he can log us. He can just bypass that. You know, but come 12 o'clock or 12 a.m. again, if his rights still aren't right, your system at 12 o'clock is going to unblock him again, you know, or block him again. You know, so
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Okay. Does that make it easier, Manpreet?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Great. Okay, well, listen, Troy, thanks for that. If you link us in with whoever, we'll continue to work with the App Pro. And maybe we can
yeah,
line
the
up a
App Pro
meeting.
100%, because I said that
Yeah.
gives us our biggest scope for our current marketplace, you know, to be able
Right,
to go and
yeah.
promote this as something we have, you know,
Yeah.
but certainly going forward, our biggest now platform is AAC Cloud, and anything like that, that's an app package or something can be added on is
Right.
great benefit to us, because it said, you know, it builds our system, you know, and there's a lot of third parties now developing products for in there, you know what I mean? So a professional service will work with you guys.
That's a huge priority for us if we can get in there as well. So, and any documentation or anything, how we get the apps in there, as Manpreet said as well, let us know. We'll get full steam on that.
Yeah, I'll just get a guy, Stuart Tucker, to contact you. All right, and
Okay.
he heads professional services, and or Ralph Shillington. Maybe just even set up a call with you guys, or maybe Manpreet, right?
Yeah.
And we said
We'll introduce what we do. Exactly. We'll explain it.
Right?
Great.
Yeah, exactly.
Appreciate it.
Great stuff, guys. Well, look, it's looking good. But as I said, you know, if we get that card blocking in place, I think if you can do that and give us a heads up, we then get you on the next call, and we can show it then into the wider audience, and so this is working, right?
Perfect. Great.
Just
Troy.
one last question, if that is possible. Yeah, I was just asking that right now, is there any way to distinguish between the employees and the contractor in the Act Pro? Do we have any way to identify the contractor's company name in the portal?
Do we? Let me see now. I think the only way is the user group, because it's a contractor user group.
Okay.
So let me just share screen again there. So I think that the only way would be is when we set up user groups, if they're specific user groups, is you're going to have a contractor. You can see it in there, contractor. So you just create a contractor's user group, and then anything that's going to be related to that's going to be contractors.
Okay, and how can I get their company's name, the name of the contractor's company?
Well, it's because it's all under the same user. Okay, so if I go back to the here, it's again as a user. So once it's sorry, slow PC. This one's running on Steam, I think, but I need it for another week. So once we see here the user group, you see contractors. Okay, so contractor one, but it's going to be just underneath the person's profile. So when you have a user, we'll get there, guys. So they're going to have their username thing, email, mobile, user group, full access group. Okay, so when you're saying then you would have details, you can put in here if you want company name. You can change these to be anything. These user fields are
that you explained last time.
Yeah. So I'll just change one of them to company name, you know, but it's, I would have thought under the general. Could be under user notes, but that's not searchable. So no, it's going to just be under one of the free fields. But you know, if you need to define just all your contractors, you would just go to your user groups, and underneath that, it's going to list how many contractors there are. And once you click on it, it's going to list all the contractors. You know what I mean? So if contractors says there's 7, number of users 5, you know, that will always just tell me who the contractor door 24 hours, contractor doors out of hours. So this would always list the contractors.
Yeah. Actually, we are doing in a reverse way, so I don't need this because we link both the profiles, and once it is linked, we are only checking the linked profile. So I don't need to check if it is a contractor because I know it's the contractor if it is available in the contractor portal. That's fine. But for the company name, as you said, it's in the user detail. Yeah, that is good. I will use it.
Yeah.
And
So
you we install this.
so here
Manage.
you would have company name, you know, to include it, search, and then you know you get company name there as well as in the search list. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And we installed the Act Pro system in our system previously when we started this integration, but the license is expired now. Is there any way to get a sandbox license or any way to renew it?
Well, we just extend it. You can give me the yeah. I okay, and you'll be able to set up again. So basically, you just go into your Act server and just manage your add your new license key.
Okay.
So if I get you a full license, okay, you just go into your server client and it's going to show all your keys and if they're active and inactive. So you obviously have one that's going to be false, okay? And, I'll get there eventually. This is what I got on your laptop, guys. I said I've been running on Steam. It's 99.70% full, the hard drive, and it just doesn't like running. Server plan. So you probably did this before anyway. You probably know where it is, but I don't know. It's just sense. Okay. So when you go into your
register software, last one.
Register software, yeah, in here. So you're going to have the keys, and you're probably going to have an expired key. Okay. So you can see which is true. One of yours is going to be false. So I'm going to send you a key. You just add a key, type in the key I gave you, and then you're just going to register it in your system and just come back live again.
Sure. Thank you. Okay.
And you need obviously the API, yeah, because that's part of it. Yeah, so to make sure.
Yeah, yes, we need API. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. So that's a full one, yeah, which has the will have the API on it as well. Okay, so I'll get you I'll get you a new license and send it on to you.
Okay.
Okay. And I'll get somebody in touch with you separately from an AAC perspective, okay? Because that's something we definitely will be the bigger, wider interest globally. You know what I mean? Once it's there, and especially if you're integrating TDS and TDS integrates into the AAC, you know, it just becomes down to a single platform. You know.
Definitely, it will be a big integration. I think this one is just for the Act Pro, but that can help us to integrate with others as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Troy. Appreciate the time.
Thanks,
Troy.
Good
time.
Bye.
See you later. Cheers now.
Thanks.
Okay.